So people all the time ask, like, how the hell do you get, like, did you kill someone? Did you rob a bank? Like, how do you get so many guitars? Well, first off, it's called OCD. That's obvious. This is my 401k plan that I can play. So where people are like going, look at my interest going up. I'm going, I can play on this Gibson, or this, as I pull out, that's a Gibson, as I can play on this Gibson, you know what I mean? And I can also sell it for more than I got it for. And whereas we don't necessarily know what's going on with the economy, we don't know what's going on with the dollar bill. I can tell you that there are some guitars that live outside of space and time. It's not to say the market doesn't go soft or strong, but I have a philosophy that if you follow it, you will basically always be able to get out unless the world ends, which is possible. It's very fucking possible. It's 2020, it may end. But for example, I'm probably into this guitar for maybe 12 to 1300 bucks. If you go on a Reverb, it's got a solid rosewood neck. It's a PRS, I love it. I'm not super into it as a player. I think there's a lot better sounding ones myself, but it's probably a $5,000 to $7,000 guitar new. And me being into it for $1,200, let's say I didn't love this, I could trade this for something that I did love because there's a lot of money into it. So the thing is, because if you get into things for the right price, I know that no matter what, I can sell this for $2,000 in 5 minutes on Reverb or on eBay. So if that day comes where I can't afford my rent or something terrible happens, this is my 401k. Again, let's say I don't like it, I can always sell it. I can always trade it for more than I'm into it for, which also leads me to my second point, that emotion is the death to logic. So I will buy 7 of this exact same guitar if it's always for the right price. I don't ever wake up and go, I just need a PRS or I just need a Gibson. Like, there are things that I specialize in and I know more about, because knowledge is power. Like, being able to know that something's worth something by looking at it versus somebody else, or knowing little details or little facts to debunk whether it's real or fake, is so important, because a lot of times people have no idea. So that is extremely, extremely important. But my philosophy basically is, I don't buy anything unless I know that I could probably sell it for at least 50% more conservatively on the street. Sometimes you get emotional, sometimes you buy things just because you love it. Let me give you an example. So this guitar is probably about $5,500 used. You sometimes see them for $3,500, whatever. I got it for $2,600 bucks. So like, I don't think I'll ever see it again for this price. But then again, is it half of what it sells for? Yeah, for $5,200, but that'll sit online for 4 years. If I wanted to sell this tomorrow, I could probably do it for $3,500 bucks. The point is you always want to get into something. So if you don't like it, or if you want to upgrade, you could always have more leverage. And my dad's into stocks, and knowing about numbers or even poker, I couldn't make the type of dividends I'm making in guitars and anything else. So that's why I've gone into it. A great thing to explain to people is pre-factory PRSs. So having early Gibsons and having early Fenders is super important. If you know that 15, 20, even 30 years ago, you could buy now $500,000 guitars for $10,000, $15,000. You could buy guitars that are now $20,000 for $700. I'm thinking like that now. So that's why I'm buying, in my opinion, in our lifetime, Paul Reed Smith, which I have tons of. I believe that he's going to be the third. Not to say there aren't awesome guitar companies and that are big and whatever, but I just think he's going to be up there with Fender and Gibson. So getting a pre-factory one like this, which they call them pre-factory from 1985 to 93 or something like that. And it's not really pre-factory, because pre-factory would be before 1985. But after 1993, they moved and they got CNC machines and all kinds of stuff. But the point is that I got this guitar for like $2,000. And the reason being is because there are so many nice PRSs floating on the market for so much more money that these ones fly under the radar. It doesn't have the nicest top. It doesn't have the nicest anything, other than the fact it's Brazilian rosewood. It's an early serial number. It's all handmade, and it's going to be worth a lot of money. So like new Fenders that come from the custom shop that have crazy inlays and all that, they'll still never be worth as much as a 56 Strat. And to me, this is the equivalent of a 56 Strat, except for PRS. So the thing is, where some people will sell this for $3,900, $4,000, which is probably about what they're worth for insurance value, you'll find these sometimes for $1,800, $2,200 bucks. And I know to myself that if I hold on to it, not only am I getting it at the right price, but I'm buying something that I know that's going to go up. Especially with PRS, because right now the market's soft, and it's especially soft for PRS because so many people have been saturated with them that there's a lot of beautiful guitars on there. But if you know how to cherry pick the right ones, like the pre-factory ones, the early ones, through all of the private stocks and wood libraries and things that are $5,000, $6,000 off the bat, you're going to end up with the $20,000 or $30,000 one eventually in 20 years, because these are the ones that slip through the cracks. And I don't ever go online or go to buy a guitar with the emotion of saying, I want a Les Paul or I want an Explorer. I bought this Explorer because it was such a ridiculous deal. And I knew that a 50th anniversary Explorer, even in beat condition, is a great deal. I don't know what I'm gonna get when I wake up, but that's part of the exciting part. The exciting part is being passionate enough to learn about things, or if you don't know about it, to do the research. Like to find out, even though this didn't come with the paperwork, this is the prototype of the Gibson WRC, which is a total ripoff of the Charvel Model 6, but it has this kill switch, which only came on the prototype version, and this has a smaller headstock. But even the guys at Chicago Music Exchange priced it as the cheaper version because it didn't come with the paperwork, and they didn't realize it's the expensive, sought-after, really rare version of it, because you have to go on Google and look and really take a different peek at this headstock and these what's on here to know what you're actually getting. And that's the knowledge, that's the power. So I got this $700 guitar, and if it had the paperwork, it'd be $2,000 something dollars. But the point is that because I can prove all of this, that's what it is. It just doesn't have the original case. Who fucking cares? So that's why I do this. I do this because you never know what you're gonna get. Whether it's a parlor guitar, I bought this guitar just because I like the wood. I like the wood, and it turns out, doing research, if you look inside this, it's Globe and Company, I've never found another guitar they've made. They made like mandolins and all that sort of stuff. But I got this for super, super, super cheap because nobody knows about it. Nobody's Googling, can I buy a Globe parlor? And I just looked at the wood and I said, I'm gonna take a chance. And I got this for like 500 bucks. And clearly it needed a neck reset. So somebody decided to get, a Vietnamese fretboard to make it look like a Martin or something like that. And they did a terrible fret job where they got it. But if you put the frets on this thing sounds like it's totally out of tune, but it's a Canon. It's a guitar that, if this is intonated properly, which really requires a fret job, this is a $1,500 to $2,000 guitar I probably got for like 500 bucks. And certainly just as a wall hanger, it's absolutely beautiful. And if you take the time to tune it in the first position, which is what you have to do with a guitar with no truss rod, with wonky frets, it sounds absolutely bananas. So one day I will make it totally playable, but I'm into it for so little that, you know what I mean? You can always get more. And that's what you have to look at. When you buy stuff, the reason I don't have a lot of ESPs or, American Jacksons is because I find that they're a lot rarer, and the people that love them are way fewer and far between. PRS, Gibson, Fender, Martin, those big brands. And so the people that have those guitars want full price for them, but they're just like if you buy a new Ferrari. As soon as you go off they're not new, they lower in price. But if you can get one the right price, like I said, I'll end up with I bought an ESP Horizon the other day because I finally got one for the right price, because I have removed my emotions from it. I love guitars as a whole. I want people to have the selection of guitars, but I also want people to know, if you're looking to invest and you're willing to wait, just like in stocks, and you want to play your investments and you are willing to do the right thing, not just because of emotion, but because of capitalism and because you love it, but you also know that if I lose $500 on this guitar, it gives me less to trade. Whereas if I trade this for something because someone's emotional and I get a really good deal on it, even though I might be bummed that I lost this guitar, it's worth it because you're just moving up the food chain. That's how you'd make a $500 guitar a $5,000 guitar, and I've done it. Why don't you fucking smash that subscribe button already?